Okay, so now let's start the class. We have already started the soil erosion and conservation, and I will explain you and I will show you the experiment how this soil profile is being formed with the help of a beaker and a water. Then I will explain you about the soil profile. So at first I'll take the soil profile. At first you see here is a beaker, and when we are mixing the water in the beaker, that time what happens, only the humus part remain on the upper side, which is mixed with the organic material. Leaves may be there, dead animals part may be there. Second layer is of the water, then clay is there, and just below the clay you will get the sand, or you can say clay and sand are mixed with each other, and the last part or at the bottom of the beaker you will get the gravel. So I have arranged this beaker. You see this beaker, this is actually, what is it? It is a soil profile I am showing you in a beaker. See, clearly it is seen when I am mixing this soil, what will happen? Only after few minutes we will see, or just this clearing being here, in the bottom portion you will see only gravel part, or you will see only the bigger stones are there, and upper part, just upper part of the gravel you will see there are sand, and then after that there is a clear layer of clay. So these all are settling down here, and in the middle you will see the water is being collected, and upper part you see there are twigs are being seen, and there are leaves and all that part is being made. They are forming the first layer of the soil, or which is called the top layer, and it is little bit darker from this soil. It is little bit darker chocolate color, or you can say it is little bit darker layer, and it makes the humus. So humus is very fertile. Why it is so fertile? Because in humus layer we are seeing dead decaying material of the plants and animals can be seen. Okay, so dead decaying material of the plants and animal, they are mixes with the topsoil or with the humus, and they are giving the most fertility to the soil. Understood? Now we will go for the multiple choice, as I have completed up to the uses of the soil. So take the correct answer. Rocks break into smaller pieces due to rain, water, and rain and wind both. So what it would be? Rock breaks due to rain and wind both. So just take this MCQ number 1. It should be this one, rain and water both. Then the second multiple choice answer is soil support the growth of the plants by holding their, how they are anchoring their plants? By holding their roots. So there should be roots, you have to write the roots. Okay. Now if we will see the soil profile, soil is made up of different layers. These layers contain particles of different sizes. The layers of the soil form soil profile. It has 3 layers, one above the other. Okay. So if we will see the soil profile, what is the arrangement of the soil on the surface of the earth, or whatever the soil we are seeing on which the farmers grow their trees, what kind of soil that is. So if we will see the topsoil, topsoil is the uppermost layer of the soil, and it is called the topsoil. It is topsoil, almost all agricultural activities are done in this layer. So all the plants grow in the topsoil, and it contains tiny particles of sand, clay, humus, and moisture and air. Humus makes the soil fertile, and plants get essential nutrients from this layer. So this is the first layer, and this is the top layer of the soil, and you see all plants grow here in the topsoil. So what are the composition of this soil? There is, you will see little bit of sand is there, little bit is clay is there, water is there, air is there. As the water and air is present, some microorganism, small animals also can live in this layer, in this top layer, and this is called the humus. Why it is called the humus? Because all decaying part of the plants, all decaying and decomposed part of the animal mixes with this air, with this layer of the soil and give all the nutrients to this soil. So the top layer is most nutritive layer, and all kind of agricultural activities, means all kinds of plants can grow on this layer, and this is called the top soil, and this is the most fertile layer. This is the most fertile layer of the soil. And now it will go from the top soil, the second, this is the second part of the soil, or this is the second layer of the soil, where we have seen water is being collected. Here again we are seeing the water is being collected. Just like this, we will see the soil profile of in our agricultural land. We can see just after the humus there is a collection of water. That's why roots of a big plants goes up to this layer, or you can say up to the subsoil layer or the second layer. First layer, and this subsoil is the second layer. Okay, so this is the second layer and this was the first layer. In the first layer topsoil is there, in the second layer subsoil. Subsoil means little bit of humus along with collection of water. That means there is a lot of water is being collected in this second layer, and this layer is called the subsoil. Here the water is being collected and the roots of the big trees goes up to this layer, and they take their water, roots take their water from this subsoil or the water content collected over here. Okay. Now the last you will see in the lower portion of the soil, you will see the gravel is there and the sand and clay is also there. So this is the gravel and sand is being collected in the bottom of the subsoil, and after that you will see the big rocks which are just closing the entrance of the water, and that big rocks layer is called the bedrock layer. Okay, so as a whole we are seeing in our soil profile we can see three layers. First one is the topsoil where the humus content is present, whereas in the after the subsoil you will see the second soil, topsoil you will see second layer is the subsoil where water content is present. At the bottom of the subsoil we can see the sand particle and the gravels are present. In the last layer there are big rocks, or you can say the impervious layer of the rock. That means water cannot drip down from this layer. This is the bedrock layer. Okay, so this is whole about the soil, and we can say this is the soil profile. Okay, now we will read about the, we came to know about the topsoil. Now we will know about the subsoil. So the second layer is called the subsoil. It is a very little humus. So it is mixes little bit humus here but contains water. Roots of the trees generally reach in this layer, and the bedrock is the third layer, has a large pieces of the rock, and it is called the bedrock. It is quite deep inside the earth. Okay. Let me come to the soil erosion. At first you understand the layers of the soil, and when we will go for the soil erosion, it is the next part, no? So at first come to know what are the layers of the soil, then you will come to know what is soil erosion. Understood? Now next one is the, so we come to know what are the parts of the soil and what are the layers of the soil. Now we will go for the soil erosion. What is soil erosion? Okay, so we will read at first, then I will explain you. Soil erosion, the removal of the fertile topsoil from the force of wind, rain or river water is called the soil erosion. So what happens? As we know, in the first layer it was humus. So if due to wind, water, flowing water, due to any reason, maybe flowing too much, maybe the water is flowing or the water is being logged over over there, or the flowing water, maybe the reverse water, or the due to the flood condition, water is flowing over the fields or over the soil. Then it removes the topsoil of the soil profile, or you can say the soil is being layered up, and the topsoil means the uppermost layer where the humus is present, which is the most fertile soil. When it is removed by wind, by air, by water, or by any force of any water, then this layer is being removed from the soil. And when the first layer is being removed, when the top layer of the soil, which is the most fertile soil, or the humus is being removed, the soil become barren. Okay, that means it becomes less fertility it will gain. So this is called the erosion or the soil erosion. That means the most fertile soil is being removed from the soil, or the most fertile layer or the top soil is being removed from the soil. So it is called the soil erosion, because it is a erosion to the soil. What is the erosion? As the topsoil or the most fertile soil is being removed from it, that means it will become less nutritive. That's why it is called the soil erosion. So how it is being formed and why it happens? The loss of fertile topsoil make the land unfit for the farming. Once the fertile soil is being removed from, then what will happen? Naturally, the crops will not grow well, because it will not get its nutrients, it will not get its mineral properly. So the growth of the crops will become less, or the growth of the crop will become very less in amount. So this is called the erosion of the soil, and it will become unfit for the cropping or unfit for the farming. Now soil erosion occurs mostly in those areas where the topsoil is bare and not covered with plants. So and how this erosion is being occurred in the places? So if the soil is not covered by grasses, if as we know, the roots of the plants anchors the soil. That means they are binding the soils, they are just holding the soil. So if the plants are not there, if the total area is being barren, there is no trees are there, no grasses are not there, then the soil is becoming loose in nature. In the uppermost layer of the soil, it will become loose in nature, not bind by any forces. There is no tree, then automatically with the help of the wind, when the wind blows fastly, so the uppermost layer of the soil is being drawn away, or it will be just flow away with the help of the wind. So that is the reason they become less nutritive, and the soil become barren, or you can say unfit for the cropping, as the most nutritive layer is being taken away, and soil become unfit, or soil become less nutritive. Okay, so this is called the soil erosion. Now plants act as soil binder. As we know, when we sow the as it is given here, see the root of the plants, they are being there are so many roots and soil you can see here. So these these roots are actually binding the soil. So soil, once they are binded by the roots of the plants, they cannot flow, they cannot grow with the by the pressure or by the wind, because they are binded with the roots. That's why where you will see the plants are there, in those area you will see the soil erosion occurs very less in amount, and there maybe you can say there is no soil erosion. But wherever you will see the soil is barren, there is a no big plants are being sown, there is no grasses are being sown, in those area you will see the soil is being removed from the, or the topmost layer of the soil is being removed from the soil. Okay, so this is about your binding. So it is given here, the root of the plant and trees growing in the soil bind the particles of the topsoil together. So they are binding together. Due to this binding of the soil particles, the topsoil is not easily carried away by the wind and water. Hence plants are very helpful in preventing the soil erosion. So that is the reason nowadays we are not leaving any kind of plant, or we are not leaving anywhere the fields are barren. You will see at least grasses are there to prevent the soil erosion. Even in the you will see in the fields where the players are playing, there are stripes. No, in a one strip there is a bare land, because they are making the field for to play, and the other strip you will see the grasses are there. So alternatively they make this just to bind the soil, so the soil will become not barren and soil will not become eroded. Okay. Now one important notice I would like to give you. At first I have taken the class because few of the students were not present at that time. So now I will tell you on 2nd of October or due to Gandhi Jayanti, for the celebration of the Gandhi Jayanti, we are from the school allocation is being held for the class 4 and 5. Allocation will be taken. So what is allocation? I have any allocation, that means you can make a video of your speech related to Gandhiji. Everything should be related to Gandhiji. So you should take a speech, you can give a speech, you can sing a song, or you can tell a poetry related to Gandhiji or about cleanliness. Okay. And the video should not be exceeded more than 25 MB. Clear? So it should not be more than 25 MB, and then it should be less than 25 MB, that means not more than 2 minutes. Okay. Now the last date of this allocation, first of all you have to make one video of it. Maybe you are singing, maybe you are doing cleaning somewhere in your garden, that video should be uploaded. Okay. So any kind of activity, but it is preferable that class 4 and 5 will submit their allocation part. Allocation means any kind of speech, any kind of singing or any poetry, but it should be related to Gandhiji, as the occasion is Gandhi Jayanti. So you have to make the video related to Gandhiji, and it should not be more than 2 minutes, that means less than 25 MB. Clear? Now last date is up till 30th of September. You can send your video. After 30th there will be no accepting your videos. Then school will not accept your video. Before 30 or till 30 night you can send your video. And what is the address from where you have to send this? You know the BMS OER website where all the things are being given. In that website you have to in that address, wherever you are sending, before it you have already sent, no? So you just send it, and this in this address or in this website you have to send. So the school, in the school site, what is BMS OER website, which is given in your Facebook also. So that site you will send your videos, and it will be selected, and it will just shown on 2nd of October for the celebration of Gandhi Jayanti. Now related any question you can ask me if you want to ask anything to me. I have explained you again already. This is the allocation 2nd October for the Gandhi Jayanti. You have to send a video related to Gandhiji. Maybe it is a poetry, maybe singing and singing or any speech. It is or cleanliness. You can send any video, but that video must not be more than 25 MB. It should be less than 25 MB. Last date is 30th/9/2020, and that means 30th September. And the address is BMS OER website, which is gmail.com. Okay. So whatever the site it is in your book, it is in your diary, it is in. Okay. Now I will continue the class. Any question related to you, you can ask, and you have to send the video. That's all. Okay. Now next, cause of soil erosion. So what are the causes of soil erosion? The factor are responsible for the soil erosion is called the agents of the erosion. So what are the agents? What are the causes? We know what are the reasons and the causes of erosion. Causes of erosion is called agents. So what are agents? We know flowing water is a agent, logging of water is also a agent. So what are the agents? If we see wind and running water, it is not mandatory. You all you may be participate and you may not be participate. Okay, this is not mandatory. If you want to participate, then you will send your videos. If you do not want to participate, then do not send it. Okay, and whatever who will do your video, any adult person at your home, they will understand what is 25 MB. It is a size of the video. Okay, and it is not mandatory at all. So you may take the, participation is not necessary, but if you want to participate, you can send. Clear? Now what are the agents of the erosion? Wind. Wind is a one agent. Second is flowing water. And anything flowing water, whatever you can see, these are the natural resources. These all are the natural resources. What about your trial exam? That part I am just unaware. So you can ask to school authority about this, because I am not the part of the examination. It is held by some from the okay. So you just ask it to the school, to principal sir or to anybody related to it. Okay, I cannot give you the answer because now. What are the factors? So the factors and the agents of the erosion are wind and the flowing water. Due to these two reasons, the soil is being eroded and soil is being removed from the upper part. Okay. So the first one is the running water. So what is running water? Actually, heavy rain washes away the topsoil and causes soil erosion. So first one is when the rain is heavy, and when they flow out from that places, that time they take the topsoil with them. If there is no trees, then this topsoil is being flow away along with the water. So soil erosion by water is more, but we can see in the hilly areas where the water flows from the slopes of the hills, that time it is easy to take the soil from there, from this side, because this is a slopey region. So when the water is flowing, along with the water, soil also flow out. Okay. Now the effect of the soil erosion by running water can be seen. Chambal Valley is the example which is present in the Madhya Pradesh. Here you will see there is no trees and no plantation, because the soil erosion caused by running water has made the land unfit for cultivation. And there, if you will see the pictures of the Chambal Valley or the Chambal Ghati, you will see all over there are hills, but these all hills are already eroded. They seems to be very unfit. There is no greenery at all. They are very they are naked type of mountains on the hilly region where you cannot see a pinch of greenery. So there is no green vegetation, there is no trees, so that these all mountains are bare to the water, and these bare hills are, from these bare hills the Chambal river flows off and they bring lots of soil along with them. That's why this hilly region, or you can say in the hills of the Chambal, they all are barren and unfit for the cropping or unfit for the agriculture. And this is due to the soil erosion of that area. Now wind is there. Now in region, especially desert, where grasses and plants are very few in number, strong winds easily blow away the soil. As we saw in the Thar desert, in our Rajasthan area, Jaisalmer, etc. places, you will see the sand is just loosely held over everywhere. But nowadays, I have seen that few portions of the Rajasthan, they are being planted with the artificial soil. They are bringing the soil from outside source and they are just giving them over the sand, and they are trying to sow the plants in the deserted area also. Okay, so these all are the reasons where the soil is just bare, there is no plantation in those areas. We can most of the soil erosion, just like in the Chambal Ghati, and one example is the desert of the Rajasthan or the Thar desert. We can see sand dunes are being made, but there is no vegetation, so the soil fluently just flow from one place to another. Okay, so this is a type of soil erosion, and some of the human activity also causes the soil erosion, like deforestation, overgrazing and throwing of the hillside. That I will take in my next class because time is getting over. So that's all for the day. If you have any question related to your chapter, you can ask me. If not, then just give your presence that you are present and write present ma'am, and then you can leave the class. Okay.